Shalom. I want to start by saying all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Hakwadash, double honesty apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Citations that I can push in this word in all sincerity and honesty, and the hopeful let constantly enduring. Shalom. My name is Kara Allah. Lord, this is edifying. I looked up on chat. I said, how many countries have nuclear weapons? It says, as of 2026, 9 countries are generally recognized as possessing nuclear weapons. And the list is here: United States, Russia, China, France, United Kingdom, India, Pakistan, Israel, North Korea. Okay, this is something we know. All right. It says the first five are the nuclear weapon states formally recognized under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. India, Pakistan, Israel, North Korea are outside that recognized group, with North Korea having withdrawn from the NPT. And that's I scrolled down a little more. I said, what is NPT? NPT stands for Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. It says it's an international treaty open for signature in 1968, designed to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons to additional countries, promote peaceful uses of nuclear technology, encourage nuclear disarmament among countries that already possess nuclear weapons. Now, this is a treaty that they have for the first 5 states, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. United States, Russia, China, France, and the UK. Now, Israel has nuclear technology, man, but they're not under the treaty. And Israel and United States are partners, so the United States could use Israel as a loophole, basically, right, to do what they please with their nuclear technology. Okay, so that's very interesting, man. Of course, North Korea also, they could do anything as well with their nuclear technology. But here's the thing: the way we going today, all these countries might and states might drop out of this NPT, okay, because things are unstable, right? You have peace and agreements when things are stable. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens, right? You jump to verse 8. It says, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. All right, so peace treaties are made in the time of peace. All right, and when our peace treaty is broken, in the time of war. Okay, right now we're in the time of war. We're in the time of World War III, and this war is it's increasing, it's intensifying, it's becoming more and more drastic. Okay, so that treaty is going to be broken. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? If you speaking about peace and safety in a time of war, that destruction, you're not even gonna see it coming. You know, which that's the spirit. That's a feminine spirit, right? To not know what time you in, to be walking around here like you blind, or like you got your head in the ground. All right, that's really a feminine, docile spirit. You know, like you see a woman crossing the street and she ain't looking at the street, she's watching her phone. Okay, so that ain't the spirit to be in. So for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. Right, this thing's gonna happen at a sudden. Okay, especially in America, it's gonna get really bad because these American people believe they can't be touched. When here it is, America is going to be the worst. It's going to be the worst. It's going to be done the worst. You know, these different countries are at war right now and they're seeing destruction, but they're going to rebuild. America, on the other hand, is going to be a wasteland. All right. It says that the sudden destruction comes upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Joel 3:9 says, proclaiming this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right, so these Gentiles or these different nations, they're going to prepare themselves for war. Wake up the mighty men. Okay? These men that you see, they're going to go fight, man. And the spirit of war is going to be upon them, because why? A lot of these nations want, one, they want to destroy America, and two, they want to be in power, which they're not going to be in power, okay? But America is going to be destroyed by way of thermonuclear missiles, right? Because after the ground war, after that, you know what's next is they're going to shoot those nuclear missiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let the men of war draw near, let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And that's exactly what's happening. So, although there is a peace treaty, it's called the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Okay? Guess what? That's broken. It still exists, but only on paper. You best believe that, man. These nations are gearing up for war. All right? Israel definitely is. America definitely is. Russia, China, France, UK, India, Pakistan, right? All these nations that have nuclear technology, they're gearing up for war, and they're developing those nuclear missiles. All right. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And that's what we're seeing now. Iran is the prime example, all right, for fighting against Israel and America and holding its own. Okay? Back in the days, Iran would have been crushed coming up against America. Okay? Or they would have they wouldn't have dared to come up against America. Why? Because America ultimately has that nuclear technology. But now the weak is saying they're strong because why? They obtained that nuclear technology. All right. Now, does Iran have nuclear missiles, nuclear warheads? Me personally, I believe so. Maybe they developed. Maybe they secretly developed it, and maybe they got it from Russia and China. But nonetheless, they have it, and they're backed by nations or countries that also have it. All right, it's of a certain that Russia has it. Russia never stopped developing their nuclear missiles, and they'll talk about it every chance they get. So with China, okay, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Go. It says to the right, going into World War III. All right, a lot of those nations are going to be there in the Middle East to have that final standoff, basically, or that final fight. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Right, the angels. The angels are also going to join the fight, man. Okay? And they're going to destroy these nations. It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shabbat, Most High's judgment. For There will I sit to judge all the heathens round about. So that's it, man. Um, War is basically a judgment place, a place of judgment, or a time of judgment. Okay, because it's gonna be mass deaths. You read up on World War I and World War II. It was it was deaths both in the military, and there were also civilian casualties. Okay, so many people died. And World War III is gonna be even worse. Okay, because this is gonna be the one to end all wars. Okay, the angels are gonna intervene. All right, and those nuclear missiles are gonna be shot off from different countries, and America is gonna be blown to smithereens. This is the last question for chat. If you mean a nuclear missile, I said, can a nuclear missile, how likely can a nuclear missile hit America? It says, if you mean a nuclear missile, specifically an ICBM or submarine-launched ballistic missile aimed at the United States, then yes, that is a real capability. But an actual attack remains unlikely. As of 2026 U.S. intelligence assessment, Russia and China have large nuclear missile forces capable of reaching the U.S. homeland. North Korea has successfully tested ICBMs capable of reaching the entire U.S. homeland. So North Korea is also capable of reaching the whole U.S. U.S. homeland. The U.S. maintains a nuclear deterrent specifically to discourage an attack by making clear that a nuclear attack would result in devastating retaliation. The intelligence community considered the most dangerous pathway involving Russia to be an escalation from an existing or further conflict into direct hostilities and potentially nuclear weapon use, rather than an unprovoked missile attack appearing out of nowhere. Right now, Russia is the guard onto these nations. Okay, and Russia is gonna lead in the demise of America by way of thermonuclear missiles, by way of ICBMs. This is what we're saying. Okay, I believe Russia even has submarines. Does Russia have submarines? I'm gonna say near America. Yes, Russia does operate nuclear-powered submarines in the North Atlantic and Arctic approaches of North America. They can deploy from Russia's Northern Fleet into the North Atlantic, and NATO activity monitors Russia's submarine activity there. Recent reporting of 2026 described Russian nuclear-armed submarines operating in the broad North Atlantic Arctic region. Okay, so this thing is basically, the only thing stopping this is prophecies, okay, and Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, but prophecies have to occur before Russia shoot those missiles upon America, because the whole America is going to be destroyed, right? Parts of Russia is definitely going to be hit, but America is going to be wiped off the face of the earth, never to be inhabited again. Ezekiel 38:4 says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaw. let's start at 1. Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against it. Okay, now the land of Magog is the same region as Russia. If you look it up on the map, that's how we know spiritually this place is talking about Russia. It says, and prophesy against him, right? Because that's much Edomites too. The Lord don't favor Russia, but the Lord's going to use Russia to perform the will of the Heavenly Father, to destroy, to lead in the destruction of America, and to be a guard unto these nations. It says, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I'm against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth. You're right, because Russia is not gonna be in a peace state of mind, right? Russia's going to be in a military state of mind, a war state of mind, all right, like they were at the time of the USSR, all right, which that was disassembled, right? But the reason NATO was created was to defend themselves against the USSR. It says, but that spirit is coming back again. That's why America been creating weapons nonstop. It says, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, and come against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I'll turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaw, and I'll bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right? Russia spends a lot of money on weapons, technology. Okay? Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them all, which Persia's Iran. Persia today is Iran. All of them with shields and helmet. Gomer and his bands, the house of Togomor, to the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. And through BRICS, right? Through the BRICS organization, a lot of these nations and countries are joining forces with Russia and China. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So how's Iran getting their nuclear technology? Mainly through Russia. All right. Iran is getting not only their nuclear technology, but a lot of their weapons too. Funding. Lord willing, to edifying lesson. And I want to see all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash, double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders, and millstone. Such as I can push this word, no sincerity and honesty. Shalom.